Hey there, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I'm going to ask you if there is anything that you're interested in learning more about, anything you want me to discuss. But while everybody is getting here and getting logged in and all that kind of stuff, I want to go over an acronym that I put together today that might be useful for helping you cope with anxiety and distress. And the acronym is REAP Reward. You know, when we do the right thing, we reap the rewards. Well, same sort of thing here. When we are stressed, when we are feeling anxiety, and there's a lot of anxiety to feel right now, it's important to figure out whether we are feeling anxiety and that is backed by facts, or we are feeling fearful, therefore we're looking for something to be fearful about. Look at the facts, and it's important if you feel anxious about something, you feel anxious about COVID-19, to make sure that you are going online and getting the facts for and against the thought that you might be in danger, for and against the thought that this is going to go on forever, or whatever you're thinking right now that's causing your stress. There is probably, with the media, there is always some out there for and against, but it's important to look at the facts. Go to the World Health Organization website, go to the CDC website. Those are the two most reliable places that you can go, that they're going to have the most up-to-date information. Get it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Be alert to extremes of thinking, and E stands for extremes. If you're thinking all or nothing, like everybody who gets this goes to the hospital, well, that's not true. We know that's not true. We know that there is a percentage of people in the U.S. right now. The last data I saw indicated that about 5% of the people who get COVID-19 in the U.S. probably will end up with severe illness. Now, that's subject to change at any point in time, but it's important to get the facts and recognize that very rarely does something occur all the time. What is actually going on? What are the exceptions to the rule? Instead of saying this always occurs or this never happens, be a sleuth and look for exceptions. Make sure you're considering all aspects of the issue. If you are, at home, you've been at home for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nobody in your house has any symptoms of anything, well, guess what? That is, from what we know, past the incubation period of the COVID-19 germ or virus. So likely nobody in your house has it. So likely you're safe, especially if you're washing your hands and everything and you're practicing all the safe guidelines, remembering to wash your hands after you handle anything that's delivered. Get rid of those boxes and stuff because COVID can live on surfaces, but just take good precautions. So make sure you're considering all aspects of the situation. Yes, there are, a lot of people who are concerned about finances right now. And, they're not getting a paycheck. That's true. However, there are also resources out there that can help them get some leeway on when they make their mortgage payment, that can get them some leeway on when they make their credit card payment, so on and so forth. So yes, you have to spend an inordinate amount of time on the phone trying to contact each and every creditor and what have you. But since this is an international crisis, the majority of businesses, I'm not going to say all because I don't know what everybody's doing, but the majority of businesses are really working with people. Consider your probabilities, high versus low. What is the probability that you are going to get this illness, that you are going to become deathly ill and you are going to die? If you are 87 years old and you have 3 or more underlying health conditions and you get the virus, you are in that highest risk category. So you have a higher possibility of having bad outcomes. But I read a story today about a 103-year-old person who got it and recovered. Okay, so it's important to recognize that there's a probability and a possibility. Is there a possibility I could get it? Yes. but I am practicing social distancing. I'm washing my hands like a crazy person. I am making sure that, when packages come in, we handle them appropriately. We're doing everything we're supposed to do. So the probability that I'm going to get sick is very, very slim. And even if I do get sick, the probability that I'm going to get extremely sick is even smaller. Recognizing that is important. There's always a minute possibility of something happening, but it's very improbable. Same thing with losing your house or losing your job or whatever. You want to look at, you may not be able to go back to the business that you worked for because it may have closed down. Unfortunately, we know that is going to happen to some businesses, but there are going to be jobs available again. And it's important to, again, recognize that, okay, is my ideal solution or situation going to be happening, or is it something that I can deal with? It's a compromise. I will have a job. It may not be my favorite, but I will still be able to, pay my rent. So that's REAP. Reasoning, extremes, consider all aspects, and consider the probability, whether it's high versus low probability that what you're worried about is going to happen. Now, the next one is reward. It stands for recognize your reactions, examine your options and resources to improve the next moment, welcome the challenge, accept the things you cannot change, reach out for support and help actions. Be mindful. If you are depressed, okay. What's important is to be aware of it and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling this way. Now let me figure out why. Am I reacting to this? I was in a stressful situation before. Recognizing that. It doesn't mean invalidate your feelings at all, but in order to deal with it, you need to understand where those feelings are coming from. And that's okay. Recognizing it non-judgmentally, accepting, as you've heard me say many, many times in other videos, holding on to stress. All that does is increase our stress response and reduce our immunity. We don't want to do either one of those things right now. So what can I do with this feeling? Welcome the challenge. Instead of seeing what's going on as insurmountable and awful and the worst thing in the world, it is a pretty bad situation. However, we cannot change it. So let's welcome the challenge to figure out how we as a family, as a community, as a nation, hurdle in life. This virus is kind of like a hurdle. It's gotten in our way right now of doing what we normally do. We need to figure out change. We can't change the fact that we don't have all the answers yet. We can't change the fact that this virus didn't exist to our knowledge, several months ago. We can't change a lot of things, but what can we change? We can change how we react. We can change what we do on a daily basis, whether we're doing things that increase our stress, like watching the family, or, well, maybe not friends, but spend time with friends virtually and spend time with our family. Maybe to learn a new skill. Maybe you're going to take this 30 days and, take the P90X challenge or something. In acceptance and commitment therapy, we talk about living in the and. Recognizing that this is existing and it's unpleasant, and I can have a rich and meaningful life. Reach out for support. It's okay to reach out virtually to people, text them, call them. Can you help me distract myself for a minute? That's okay. But it's also important to reach out and help others because solution. Obviously, do it in a way that is safe for you. For example, if you're going to pick up your groceries at the grocery store, maybe you can pick up your neighbor's groceries at the grocery store and drop them on your neighbor's front porch, so you're maintaining that social distancing. That's something you can do. Deprive them of the ability to be compassionate. Don't deprive them of the opportunity to help you if you need it. Some people are very honored, and it makes their part to help everybody work through this period. Those random acts of kindness go a long way right now. And D is for determine the best use of your energy. You've looked at the situation, you've looked at your resources, you've determined that holding on to this energy and just, nurturing anger is not going to do anything positive, and start doing that. So, reap reward. Use fact based reasoning, evaluate extremes, look at all aspects of the situation, consider the probability that what you're concerned about is going to happen, change. Reach out for support and determine the best use of your energy. If you practice those, it will help you a lot, feeling like you have more control and you're more empowered in this situation. There are some things that are out of our control, but if we focus on the things we can control and we focus on what we can do to cope with our anxiety, it's going to help us get through. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? Um, the CDC website, or I'm sorry, the WHO website, and I did a video about those a few minutes ago that I will also be posting to the YouTube channel probably tomorrow. So stay tuned. I will go ahead and sign off, but I will be back tomorrow about 2 o'clock, and we can rejoin, and I will answer any questions you may have. Y'all have a good day. It'll be interesting to see how that thing turns out. It's freezing like every 15 seconds. Did it completely drop out or did it just buffer? Did it make sense or was it like mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Well, and it wasn't the other day. That was like 2 months ago that you mentioned that.